Odusanya, the area controller of the Lilypond Export Command, Ijora, Lagos.
All right, sir. Let's start from the um, overall performance of the command.
Well, what I would say is that maybe I need to bring you back to how we evolve
Okay.
into where we are today. Not until July, thereabout last year, Lilypond Export Command was not the sole export command of the service until the until we have the collapse of the command into sole export processing command of the service around July last year. And at that period, the service, in conjunction with we have export processing at all those commands I mentioned. Like as an exporter, you may elect to go to Tinkan, Papa, to go and process your export, and your container will go from there. But with that decision, with that memorandum of understanding, all export goods has to be processed in this command. All the documentation, all everything, so that it will be a one-stop shop export processing command. Then, depending on the ship that will take the container now, you will now go into the port through either Apapa if your container is going through a ship that berths in Apapa, or Lekki, or Tinkan, or PTML. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Why we process all export here, everything here, that the containers, they can go into the port through any of the other ports, depending on where the ship will berth. It follows that when they are going to the port, we already have our own officers at the entrance of those ports to confirm that those jobs had already been processed in this place. And the communication between the office and those officers there is always online. It's not that we carry any job processing, they will check. They're just checking. They don't do anything other than just checking and allowing them passage into the port. And with that, the speed with which we conclude export processing has greatly reduced. Because initially, before the creation of EPTs and before the collapse of the export processing to this command, we have containers of export lining up on the road there. Some will get is just that one the service at NPA did is to align export processing into the vision of the NPA2 that has created export processing terminals around this Lagos axis. We have so many of them where export processing, export examination, loading, weighing, fumigation, etc. are done before they start coming into the port. You understand?
I understand.
So
Sir.
I think that is can say now. So maybe as we go on, there are other. We have started increasing our revenue. Though I need to state something that this command is not a revenue generation command as
Okay.
such. But with the upsurge in the export business now, we'll be having improvement in the revenue we have. But I can tell you again, we measure our performance through the volume of trade we facilitate. We don't measure our performance strictly on revenue.
Thank you.
Because the revenue, export goods don't pay duty. Though there are some of them that pay next, maybe reportation or repair and returns, you understand, which is not, which is a very negligible part of the volume of what we do. But we measure our performance through the value of the goods we facilitate here. For example, the shipment value of the goods we had for the month of May was 180 million $993,934.16. If you check, maybe record will be given to you as to our performance previous month, or maybe previous month like that. Then we will look at our performance through the prism of the volume of goods we facilitate.
All right, sir.
Well, I am not in a position to talk that far behind of 2002.
Okay.
But I can tell you that I got here. I got here 2003, around September or so, close to 2 years now. The volume of what we used to do keep increasing here and there. But from last year, government policy has also come in to make Nigeria to appreciate export. You know, with the rebasing of our currency, it makes our goods now cheaper for people coming in from outside the country to buy. And when it makes our good cheaper, it means it makes our good competitive in the international market. And we have been seeing increase in the volume of export day in, day out, because government policy has encouraged export. Because if you are earning, for example, if you are earning $10,000 on certain good before, you know how much it is in naira before, but when you now earn it now, you know the theoretical increase in the value when the dollar is repatriated. So definitely it encourages export. And while it encourages export, is in one way or the other discouraging import, because now you need a load of naira now before you can say you want to buy things. Maybe something you are buying at 300,000 before, now you need close to
3 million.
Yeah, maybe 7 or 8 million to get them now. So government policy invariably it has really impacted into smooth running of the command, in the sense that we have officers that are trained and are knowledgeable in the new application. And we have had calls to bring the stakeholders around to appreciate this new application. And we have even written to them today, either today or yesterday, that they can bring their application home now so that they will be working on the new application. Because we are still working side by side with the old application. But the new application has been certified to be better than the previous one. So, because at the end of the day, we are going to exit finally of the old application, which that one is by a third party government. It was concession to a third party, NICES, by way from take. But this one is Nigerian Customs homegrown application. It is our officers that are in charge. You understand?
Yes. So, what are the mechanisms put in place, to checkmate complaints from maybe exporters and stakeholders?
Um, since I arrived here, we've been having stakeholders meeting every quarter. You understand?
Yes.
So it is at that meeting we bring up issues that have concerns to them. And these stakeholders meeting include exporters, their agents, if other government agencies, relevant government agencies, quarantine, NDLEA, DSS, NAFDAC, Standard Organization of Nigeria, even NATO, transport people. So that when they have issues, we all put our heads together to solve our issues. Apart from that, me as area control, yes, I would say government is trying through the Export Promotion Council, which we always have synergy with them. Anything that has to do with export promotion, symposia, or sensitization, we always call upon. And also we'll be having good rapport with the Chamber of Commerce, Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, just to sensitize the public about what is going on around the export corridor. I still have somebody that called recently from Chamber of Commerce as relation to export of goods, information they need to know. And I would say that from my experience on this seat, I've started seeing increase in export of manufactured goods. Initially, we used to have only raw material. Now we have value-added goods being exported. If you if you look at manufactured goods now for the month of May, for example, we have 42,711,860 $29 manufactured goods being sent outside the country. Before we used to have nil or maybe less than 1 million. But when you have $42 million,
$42 million. That's improvement.
That's manufactured goods, finished goods.
Finished goods. Oh,
Yes.
that's encouraging.
Yes.
That's very, very
You
encouraging.
see that they are much important now. So that's very encouraging. So that we add value to our goods here.
Do the officers in this command have under your watch?
Well, we are civil servants, and there is no way I can say I want to dish out any money to them. We are salary earners. And what I do is that any officer that applied that wants to maybe have some days out within the civil service room, maybe want to travel, this and that, when you look at it that at least you are officially entitled to it, I don't hesitate to approve that for our officers.
All right, finally, sir, what is your vision for Lilypond Command under your leadership?
Well, Lilypond Command is a very young. It used to be there in the olden days as an import command,
Okay.
but now as an export command, I see it as the star of the Nigerian Customs Service in terms of the day in, day out improvement of the volume of work we do. And as we are making that achievement, the federal government is feeling it. So it's going to be the star command of the service in the nearest future. If we keep on increasing our volume of export, the export of crude oil may not even be the discussion again. Nigerians, they are in export. And even now we have export, we have where 2 or 3 people can gather together to put their loads, subject to maybe compatibility in a container as a groupage abroad. So you don't need to have a whole money that can fill up a container. 1, 2, or 3 people can team up together and send goods abroad. We have a terminal somewhere there. Yes, the thing is that just like I said initially, that now they earn their dollar direct from the CBN. So they have more naira now to play around than before. 10,000 before might be like $10,000 might be like maybe let's say 9 million, this and that. The $10,000 now is about 16 million. One way or the other, they are better off now in naira because by the time the dollar comes, they have access to their money, subject to some maybe little control for capital flight through the CBN.
All right, sir, what is your message to our Nigerian exporters?
Our Nigerian
Exporters, our
okay,
people.
I will enjoin them to continue to embrace the business of export, and I will enjoin them to come to our command for up-to-date information about what is happening in the international market. Because anytime we have any dynamics, maybe from Asia, the message will always come to us.
Okay.
You understand? So that we inundate them about what is happening in the international market, so that at least they'll be up to date. We want to tell them that with synergy they're having with our command, there will be low or no incident of Nigerian goods being rejected and returned back to the country.
Thank you very much.